please welcome Tobie Donovan and Jenny Walsher. Sorry, maybe I should have preempted that. Hello. Yeah, are they on?
Is it on?
Hello. It's
on
on now.
now.
Okay, great.
Hi.
Yeah, big round of applause, please. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So first of all, how are you doing? Is this your first time in Glasgow?
It is.
Yeah.
And how have you
Yes.
found it?
Lovely. We've not done much exploring,
Yeah.
but
I can't say that I've actually seen much of it apart from
lovely
these
people.
four.
Yeah, these lovely people.
Yay.
Fabulous. So what we're going to do is I'll just rattle off some questions, just have like an informal chat. And what we're going to do in the second half is we'll open up the floor to you folks here. So if you have a question, once that part has started, just raise your hand and someone will come and find you with a mic. So please forgive me if I check my phone because I'll be having to keep time and my notebook for all my questions. So yeah, I know that this is something that you'll have been asked a million times in interviews, but just for anyone who doesn't know, could both of you just talk a little bit about your audition process for the show, how the audition was, how you felt when you got it, all that good stuff. Yeah, any insights into that?
So it was during lockdown, so I was working in a supermarket, and I saw an open casting call on Instagram, just saying like we're looking for young actors to be a part of this show, and then I went for it and did a couple of rounds of auditions, and then was on set within about 3 weeks for me. It all happened really quickly, and it felt amazing when I got it. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I think you hear a lot of jobs that are really long, protracted, drawn out, intense audition processes, and I think we're quite lucky that wasn't the case for us. I think quite a few of you didn't have agents necessarily, so went through that open casting route. I got an audition that came through my agents, but weirdly I was already aware they were making the show, and I was aware of the books, and I was aware that I looked a little bit like Tobie. So I was about to write an email to my agent saying, are they auditioning for this role? And lo and behold, I got an audition, so it felt kind of a bit like fate. I don't really believe in fate, but it felt a bit like fate.
And so you were saying that was during the pandemic, so was that a Zoom audition or was that in person?
Yeah, all on Zoom.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that? Especially because I think everyone was kind of thrown by that when it first happened. So, and I think auditioning for something that's so big, like a Netflix series, that must have been a bit intimidating.
I mean, for me, I didn't know any other way, so it was kind of, it was my first experience of doing professional auditions. So yeah, I just thought it was normal, but I had a great time. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think, so the first round for me, did you do self-tape?
Yeah, I did a tape and then a Zoom.
Yeah, because the self-taping is in some ways quite nice because it gives you more control over, you can do it as many times as you want and send in the best version and all of that, but Zoom recalls and auditions are bizarre. They will never feel normal, and nor should they. But yeah, you can't read that person in the room with you, so you sort of, you sign off and then you just sort of sit there and go, right, I guess that just happened, but you have no read on whether it went well or not. I was convinced I'd completely mucked it up, so.
I know, I think, having done some of that stuff myself, a lot of your performance can come from being in relation to another person, so when you are just doing it to an iPhone or just a blank face on Zoom, it can feel so, oh, but well done, you got it. So I guess thinking about the impact that Heartstopper's had for particularly young people, thinking about where both of yous are in the trajectory of your careers, because I know that Tobie, you graduated from Bath Theatre Academy, but Jenny, you did a science degree before doing National Youth Theatre Rec Company. So obviously those are two kind of different routes into the industry. I guess I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about, through doing the show and wrapping up on the final season and the film, how do you feel your life has, I mean, I know that's a very big question, and there'll be loads of intricacies to that, but yeah, how do you feel your life and your career's changed since then?
I mean, for me, like completely. My life was so different before Heartstopper came into it, and yeah, I'm so grateful that this job came my way. It was just it was the loveliest experience, and like learned so much, made so many great friendships, and had a nice time. Thank you so much.
I mean, as soon as you make the slightly potentially foolish decision to become an actor, you're always like prepared that there's going to be some very down moments probably, and some periods of not working, things like that. So I feel like we're just fortunate to have hitched ourselves to a ride that's kept going for quite a few years, because that's not always the case these days. But I mean, in amongst Heartstopper, I've had years where like I haven't worked as well. Like it's not, so in some ways, sorry that's a bit doom and gloom, but in some ways I'm still just trying to be a jobbing actor. I'm still just trying to make it all work, and this has been amazing for these years, but I'm not taking any of it for granted, and I'm very aware that I've still got to keep plugging away, but it's been a very wonderful thing.
Yeah, and I think because those opportunities like that can definitely raise your profile, but yeah, it's kind of about what you do with that platform once you have it, and yeah, it's the journey of an actor is always going to be not necessarily rough, but it's going to be I don't know. Anyway, so I was quite interested in the graphic novels, and obviously I know that you would have read the graphic novel when you were filming the show, but I was wondering if you could talk a bit about what the process is like from adapting a character from a graphic novel to the screen, because I know that for yourself, Jenny, Tori is also the protagonist of Solitaire, which is another novel by Alice Osman. But for you, Tobie, Isaac is kind of loosely based on Aled. Yeah, I keep on trying to not call you by your character names or vice versa. Yeah, so it's kind of loosely based through a side character in the novel. So I don't know if that was maybe more of a challenge for you, or if it kind of freed you up in a way to do that. I just wondered if you could both chat a bit about that.
It was certainly handy having, I feel like there's potentially, I've got the most material from which I can draw, which was, yeah, pretty handy. I don't think any of us were too tied to exactly, we weren't studying the books and the material and it weighing us down so much. But the graphic novels are just handy for me because it gives you literally a visual representation of exactly what, like I could just try and copy the facial expressions if I was in any doubt. But it just makes her jump off the page in a way that adds an extra layer. Yeah. Tobie?
Yes. Yeah, Isaac isn't in the comics, so I was able to kind of make a lot of my own decisions about what I wanted to do, which is really fun. And the first season there was definitely pressure to get it right, because I feel like a lot of comic fans were really excited for the show to come out, and I wanted to make sure that they felt that the comic was well represented on screen. But then yeah, after the first season came out, there was a lovely warm reception to my character. And then we spent a bit more time with him in the subsequent seasons. So yeah, it's been a lovely journey.
Fabulous. And in terms of filming the show, obviously you've been at it for a few years, and there'll probably be a lot of fabulous memories that you have. But I was wondering if you could talk about a memory that really sticks out to you from filming, whether that's something that was hilarious or taught you a lot as an actor, or yeah, I mean, I know that there'll be loads, and I'm asking you to kind of go back quite far, but yeah, if there was just a big one that you were like, oh, that's really stuck with me moving forward.
A big one for me would have been, it was only one day, but it was an amazing day of getting to be on set working with Olivia Colman. Obviously I was already a huge fan, but then the second that you meet her, she's just very... Oh, hello!
Love that.
Yeah, she's in the room. What? Yeah, a huge fan, but she's so down to earth and so unassuming. Should I just...
That is Olivia, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, really down to earth and just made you feel she wasn't ever above anyone, or she just completely mucked in, has the most infectious sense of humour and sort of energy about her. And then watching her work as well, it was almost like what she was doing was so subtle and intricate and amazing and naturalistic that I almost didn't really clock quite what she was doing. And then you watch the final performance and there's like a million things going on. And it was just, it was great to see her work up close. So that's one that sticks in my mind for sure.
I think, like, in terms of memories that stick out for me, the week in Paris was probably the most memorable. Just because it was crazy to like be shutting down the Eiffel Tower and like shooting in all of these amazing locations. That was the first time I kind of realised the scope of our show and how many people had seen it. Yeah, it was amazing. I don't think I'll ever experience that ever again, so it's pretty cool.
Did you get to explore much of Paris when you were there?
I didn't go.
Oh.
So, and I'm still bitter about it, clearly.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we did. I mean, we did a lot of exploring in the show, so a lot of the exploring was filmed, but there was some fun evenings as well.
Lovely.
I'll leave it there. Yeah.
So, thinking about both of your characters in the show, because I know that for you, Tobie, you're obviously portraying a character who their big arc throughout season 2 is about discovering their asexuality and that they're aromantic. And I know that there must, well, I assume there was maybe a bit of pressure to feel like you were telling that story accurately. Do you want to talk a little bit about what that was like and what kind of things you were drawing on to do that?
Yeah, it was definitely something I felt pressure to get right. I think I'd not really seen it on screen before, and I know that a lot of our audience hadn't ever seen that on screen before as well, so I knew it was going to be important to people. So the pressure was on, but yeah, I just kind of did as much research as I could, and so much of it was in the script, like all of the words are there, so kind of got a lot of it for free through Alice's writing.
Yeah, and I think as well with Tori, we see in season 1, well, I suppose both of your characters, the main focus is on the love storyline, obviously, but then throughout season 2 and 3, we start to see you develop more as characters. And I think especially with Tori, she starts off as maybe being pigeonholed as just quite dry, sardonic, ironic, observant. But I think you really start to see quite a ferocious protectiveness come out of her, particularly as she supports Charlie. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that in terms of jumping from season 1 and then going into those developing storylines.
Yeah, definitely. She changed a lot between each season, I think, which was a lot of fun to explore, but also was a bit daunting because I hadn't thought about how she smiles because she never smiled, and like I hadn't. Yeah, I just had to sort of flesh her out, make her a bit more 3D, which was definitely a challenge in some ways. But I had so much fun getting to do all of those protective kind of don't mess with her scenes.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, also like so Jack, who plays David, Nick's brother, we've been mates for years. So it was kind of it was kind of it was kind of the best to do those scenes with because it was just a lot of fun, and I could really have a go at him without feeling at all bad. But yeah, also it's easy because I feel that protective of Joe, even though God knows he doesn't need anyone's protection. But yeah, it just comes naturally now, I guess.
Yeah, because I think that's also what's so lovely is, particularly in season 1, you begin to see how this LGBT community begins to form through the friendship groups of all the characters, and then it kind of becomes larger and larger. And I mean, I guess it must be similar for you guys doing the filming, and yeah, I mean, do you hang out much socially? I mean, I'm guessing you are in touch quite a lot.
Yeah, it's nice. We're all still really close. Yeah.
Great.
That's all.
So, one thing that I was thinking about was, in terms of your character's realization of his asexuality, and how that's done through going to an art exhibition and seeing a piece of art. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about a piece of art, whether that's a book, a film, music, whatever, that's had somewhat of a similar impact on you. Not necessarily in terms of like realizing who you are, necessarily, but just something that will always really stick with you.
This is going to sound really niche and like there's a Canadian filmmaker called oh my gosh, I sound like such a prick. It's called Xavier Dolan, and his films
I love
discovered
him.
them.
He's great.
Yeah.
But it is a niche reference.
I know, but look, and then now people can go and watch his films.
Which film specifically?
There's one called Matthias and Maxime, and I discovered it during lockdown, and when I was in my art house film era, and I just couldn't stop watching it. I've watched it so many times. It's one of the most visually stunning things, and like the storyline is just heartbreaking, and yeah, it unlocked a lot for me in ways that I will not expand upon. But yeah,
Love
his
that.
work.
That's God, the voice of God.
At 2:30, please head over to the photo booth area now. That's the photo shoot with Connor McCloud. Thank you.
My answer is less good than Jenny's. I really like the film Fantastic Mr. Fox by Wes Anderson. I just think it's one of the best films ever made. Yeah.
God, the things that stick with us, you know. I was just going to do some more fun, quick-fire-esque questions with you.
Should we make it a race to see who can answer it quicker?
Well, it'll obviously be you.
Yeah,
My
that sounds
brain
really
is
fun.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Many
Let's go.
years
Great.
older and slower than yours.
God, I don't even know if I've got enough to make it a proper quick-fire round now, but yeah, let's just give it a go. So I'll ask you some questions that I think are mainly about your characters or other characters on the show. Apart from one, but we'll get to that at the end. So, what I would like to know, in terms of your characters, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Well, Tori just wouldn't even do karaoke, would she?
No, she wouldn't.
Or if
I
she
should
was-
have thought about that.
Or if she was forced to, she'd just speak the words, not sing them.
Yeah. Make it a performance art piece, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I feel like She probably like sings in the shower when no one's.
Do you not think it would be like a screamy, like heavy metal?
Well, I was wondering, yeah, whether it'd be
Like, I can see her really letting her hair down in
yeah,
karaoke.
screamo.
Like Guns N' Roses or something.
Yeah.
Isaac also wouldn't want to sing, but I think if he had to, it would be like something that he can make everyone else sing along with so that the pressure's off.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with like a Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, nice. And lucky for you, we're gonna hit it. Get up there. Yeah! Fab. What character? So this isn't necessarily about just you two, but out of all the characters, what character do you think is the worst flatmate?
Tao.
I was gonna say Tao
Yeah,
as well. Yeah, just
I
be
would have said that
messy
too.
and yeah.
What's your character's comfort snack?
Well, I mean, it's not really a snack, but like fizzy pop.
Yeah, I
Fizzy
mean,
pop. I've never called it that before in my life.
it was also the way, like the fizzy pop.
Yeah.
I love that.
Maybe like crisps or something for me. Super cool.
What,
Bet you're glad
what
you
flavour?
asked. Salt and vinegar.
Great.
Yeah.
Lush, if your character was on a reality TV show, what do you think they'd be on?
The Circle, so they could lie to everyone.
Wow.
Like, I
That
just
was
find I really
fast.
liked that show.
The traitors.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
boy,
she'd be
sure.
so good at the traitors.
But then she'd take it too literally and actually kill someone.
Yeah. I want to see that. Let's commission that. A little Netflix crossover. This isn't.
Celebrity traitors once me ever.
Yeah. This isn't really about the characters. This was more just like a cheeky question that I was curious about. Who's the biggest culprit for laughing or breaking character on set?
Out of everyone or between us two?
Both.
Well, we've only really done that a couple of days of filming together. So like,
Yeah.
I don't.
I
I
think
think we're
generally,
both pretty good.
yeah, you're more professional than me across the board, I would say.
But also, I don't think that I'm in many bits which have the scope to be super duper funny.
There's quite a sexy moment between you and me coming up.
Well,
Yeah, there's a lot of intimacy between our characters in the film
Wow.
that
in
I'd
so
like
much
you
that
all
we
to
sit
look out for.
close to each other.
Yeah.
How exciting. Last question before we move on to the Q&A portion. Bit of a twee question, but I just felt it was quite appropriate. But through doing the show and thinking about the impact it's had on young people, what is something that you would tell your teenage self now that you've gone through all that?
You're gonna be alright, mate. It's not that deep, you'll be fine. Like, you're gonna, yeah, like, I was quite a stressed teenager, I think, maybe. So I would just encourage him to take a chill pill.
I think, yeah, just feeling more able to slightly let go of control. And like, I think, you know, when you're the whole way up until, I mean, even post, like up until university and that kind of thing, like your life is very much sort of laid out for you and you follow specific paths and you can have a real idea of what your life is going to be, and if it ever sort of diverts from that, then that can be quite destabilizing and it can you know, send you a bit haywire. And I think just realizing that just follow the journey wherever it goes and not resisting it and not, you know, yeah, it'll all come out in the wash.
It's really beautiful.
No, you are.
It's not a dry eye in the house. Look at them all, they're sobbing.
But, you know, because there is something as well, I think especially when you're a teenager and you're kind of realizing those kind of things about you, a lot of the time it is because we're told that our life has to be a certain way, or people think, you think you have to think a certain way or do a certain thing, and a big part of that is just realizing that, like, I can have my own agency over who I am, and yeah, I don't have to be told who I am. Yeah, nice. So, I think what we're going to do now is move on to the Q&A from you lovely folks in the audience. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. now, and this person in the red will come over. We've got a couple of people over there.
Is there any way we can
Oh,
turn
yeah,
these
here's
lights
lights,
down a
sorry.
little bit? Thank you so much.
My question was obviously, Tobie did your vlogs on YouTube. I remember watching them with my sister, like especially in season 1. We absolutely loved them. Can we expect more vlogs coming into the film?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. they exist and they are with the powers that be that are not me. So that's up to someone else to make that decision. But I'm really glad that you enjoyed them. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. What was your favourite scene to record or film?
For me, probably the Ferris wheel scene, just because it was a bit ludicrous logistically. But I mean, they attached a camera to the front of the little carriage that we were on, and then just sent us off. So we didn't normally, you know, when you're filming, you've got the cameraman or woman or person right there in your eye line, and it can be a little bit distracting. But it was just me and Joe, and we got to. It was
That's
a
really
very
nice.
lovely. Just the two of us.
Love that. Oh, I have to answer it. There was a scene in season 2 that was me, Isaac, Tao, Charlie, and what's the other one? Nick. And Tao was telling everyone that he'd kissed Elle, and we just had a really fun time doing that scene because I don't really know why, we just kept getting it wrong, and it was funny. Yeah.
If you two could be on a treasure island with any of the cast members, who would you pick if you had a
Say that again, sorry. If we could be on a...
Like if you were stuck on a desert island with one other cast member, who would you pick?
I'd pick Jenny,
I wouldn't pick Tobie. No, I would. Yeah.
just because I
I
think that
think
you're quite nice, and I feel like we've had
we've
experiences
spent
that
quite a
are
lot of like.
basically desert islands together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I think, yeah, there's some more in the back here and in the middle.
Hi. What were, if any, the biggest challenges that you both faced from taking both an established character and a new character trying to be established, while also making the characters your own as actors?
What a great question. I mean, for me, there was definitely, I felt some pressure because I knew that, I mean, not just from knowing that audience-wise, people have their own ideas of who Tori is, but also like in front of Alice as well. Because Tori is Alice's firstborn, I definitely was a bit like, what if we get on set and they realise that I was not the right choice? Because people can get fired from jobs. It's not impossible. So luckily that didn't happen. But yeah. But you also don't want to feel like you're just desperate to be liked, because it's not about you as a person. It's like doing the writing justice and doing the character justice.
Yeah. There was definitely challenges in creating like a new character. But for me, I think it was more exciting than challenging to like be able to put my own spin on something and like bring my own energy and like character to this already very established world. So yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it.
What was the scene that you could like see yourself in mostly?
Like which moment from the character do we
Yeah.
think is most like us?
Yeah.
Oh, good question. I think a lot of the time when Isaac is sort of quietly observing everyone else and doing judgmental eyes, that's quite like me in real life. So I think that's where I'm most similar to him.
I mean, overall, I just think any time that she says something sort of cutting and sarcastic, I think my sense of humour can sometimes weird people out a bit because it's quite dry and quite. Some people think I'm just being mean. I promise I'm not. So yeah, maybe just keep it classic. The broke up with a boyfriend, was he a knob moment? Probably something along those lines.
That's a great line.
Yeah.
Thanks for your question.
If you could play any other character in the show, who would you want to play?
I feel like I've said this before. It might actually be Isaac.
Loser.
But there's something about Tao that it just looks like a lot of fun to play, I think.
And so much of it is like not on the page, like so much of it is what Will brings. Same with Nima, actually. They both just have like, they just have the most fun with it. Yeah, I think I'd want to be Imogen.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, she gets some really good lines.
Lovely, we've got some great questions. Feel free to keep on popping up your hand, popcorn style, as they come.
So I'm just wondering, like, I plan on doing acting in the future, and like, what would your advice be, like, for me in the future? Yeah.
You want to go into acting?
Yes.
That's so cool. I think the best advice that I've been given is that no one else is going to be able to have a take on a character or to do the job the same that you're going to be able to do it. So trust in yourself that you have all of the tools that you need already at your disposal, and you just have to share that with everyone else.
Yeah, comparison is the thief of joy, as they say. So that way madness lies. Like, you can't be looking at other people because everyone's on their own journey. Find an acting club if you can, or some way to just flex the muscle and get yourself doing it. Watch as many films as you can. It's a great excuse to just watch loads of TV and say that it's work.
That's so true.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest interaction you've had with a fan?
What's the
Weirdest
weirdest
interaction you've had with a fan?
We generally have quite nice fans, I think.
I wouldn't say any of them have been weird, really.
Yeah, I mean,
it's weird by its nature of just being recognised.
Yeah.
To me, feels weird, but it's not that the fans have been weird.
There's been some scary costumes today that I felt a bit scared of, but all the people behind them are really lovely.
Oh well, yesterday you got basically.
Yeah,
attacked
yesterday I
by
got
a-
attacked. Yeah, by a scary monster thing. Someone was dressed up as a scary monster and could see that I was scared and really lent into that. But yeah, no one's weird really. We generally have really nice fans.
I think there's one just in the front here, or on the back. Wherever you want.
Obviously, you said that you read the graphic novel to know more about your characters. Have you also read other graphic novels or other comics and things because of that?
As in, of other genres and other.
Yeah. Is it kind of what you?
Oh. It was kind of separate. I can't actually remember what it's called, but it's so therefore irrelevant. But I have read there's a series of it's about a futuristic sort of cyborg cop person in the future. It's Metropolis, maybe, is it? Can't remember. It's really quite violent and bloody and gory, but someone I knew was reading them, and so I read them.
I'm not particularly versed in that world, I'm afraid, but I used to read Wiccan comics when I was younger. I used to read Scarlet Witch and Wiccan comics. Yeah, because I'm cool like that.
Oh, there you go.
This is mainly for Tobie, but have you ever read any of the books that Isaac's holding throughout the scenes and stuff?
I've read a couple of them. Yeah, I read The Song of Achilles before they gave me that one in the show. Is that out yet? I've already read that.
I'm not gonna lie, babe. I don't keep track of.
I fear that I've had a Freudian slip, but there's a moment where I read The Song of Achilles, and I've read that in real life. I've read a couple of them. I've read Where's Wally? That was one that I fought really hard to get in the show because I just thought it would be silly that next to War and Peace in his suitcase, he has Where's Wally? But I'm nowhere near the reading talent that Isaac is.
Lovely, a few more.
Hi, me again. Today, when I met Jenny, I cried, and I was wondering if a fan has ever made you cry.
I can't remember when or what or why, but yes, I feel like in my bones I know yes. I'm trying to remember where. Yeah, but I can't remember, like not in a bad way. Not like they haven't hurled abuse at me, and told me that they really, really hate my performance. No, it will have been. I think sometimes, in a wonderful way, people feel that they want to share personal stories and how our show has impacted them, and that can sometimes be quite emotional, or maybe stir up things of our own that we can also relate to. So, yeah, sometimes it can be a bit emotional, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi. My question for Jenny. So I was wondering, in Volume 5, Tori goes through kind of the same realization Isaac has in the 3rd season. So I was wondering if you took that into account when you were playing her during at the fair. And also, whether you know if it was a conscious choice not to include her coming out to Charlie as asexual, or sorry, which part? No, I was just wondering if you took that into account, how she also had the realization that she was asexual through her relationship with Michael, and whether or not that was a conscious choice not to include it in the show for the last season.
Yeah, I think it was something that I didn't want it to be present the whole entire way through because, she doesn't know that quite yet. But it was something that I was aware of, wasn't consciously trying to make that super visible in what I was doing. But I think it's just always helpful to make someone to be more well informed as to who this person is that you're playing, because every layer that you can add extra context just helps them be a more sort of vivid 3D, 4D, 5D, however layered person. And selfishly, I wish that we'd got to see that journey a bit more for her, but you have to watch this space because you never know what's coming next. Thank you.
I was just wondering, out of the characters, if any, which one you think would be secretly a theatre kid? Because I feel like I could picture Tao definitely singing along to Wicked or Les Mis or something, belting out I don't know, empty chairs and empty tables, being the diva that he is. I fear.
Yeah. Wait, sorry, what was the start of the question?
Which of the characters, if any, do you think is secretly a theatre kid?
Really into musical theatre?
Yeah.
I mean, I am in real life.
Yeah, and Joe is. And
Joe's a very good singer. So I guess I could see Charlie in a musical. I feel like they all would have been in the school musical.
Yeah. It's more who wouldn't be into it. I think most
Imogen
would
have been Glinda.
Mm.
And you would have been Elphaba.
I mean, we've
And
already
he would have been the wizard.
Very good. We're just coming to the end now. So we've got time for one more question. Yeah. We'll just wait for the wizard to stop. Yeah.
What was your least favourite scene to record?
Generally anything on a Monday morning, that's pretty tough.
Some of there was a period in which we were doing a lot of, is it in season? Season 3. There were quite a few days when we had to film all the like roast dinner scenes. There were quite a few roast dinner scenes. And I'll be honest, like it was cold roast dinner. Slightly undercooked veg because it keeps its colour more and it looks better on screen. And it's just a bit.
Yeah, eating's
just a bit
slinging
long,
on
really.
camera.
It's just extra fat.
And you have to eat so much of it.
Well,
If you commit to eating,
yeah, true.
then you're
True,
really
true,
you're in
true.
for a long run.
So maybe that is it's just quite difficult to get those done without running over time and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, like
It was pretty fun,
it's
most
all,
of it.
It's all, yeah. I couldn't really say that any of it is not a joy. So.
Fabulous. Well, I think that's a lovely note to end on. Thank you so much for your time and for answering everyone's questions. Thank you so much for coming. Please give a final round of applause to Tobie and Jenny.
Thank you for having us, guys.
And we'll see you around, I guess.
Yeah, we're here. Come to our table.
Yeah, come to their table. Just there?
Somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah. But yes, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.